Hello, everyone. This is Amy Dean. It's nice to see you. So, welcome to our Awakening Spiritually Together live show. Today, I am going to be diving into how to balance being and doing for true life fulfillment. So make sure you have no distractions, make sure that you have some time to yourself. And please let me know where you are as well in the world. I'd love to say hello and also add any questions to the chat, and then I'll make sure to answer those after today. So let me know, and I look forward to getting to know you. So, one thing that is really important as we get to know slow living and understanding a bit more about what is slow living, what are we doing, and what is the purpose to slowing down. So, if you haven't already watched that video, that is under, I think it's under a couple weeks ago. So, you'll find all of this under the guide section in our Facebook group. So, heading there, you can find that. But for today, and of course, that's a baseline. So, definitely watch that next time if you haven't already. But today, I really want to help you balance being and doing. So get out your notebook if you want to take notes, and I'd be happy to run through this with you. So, this is for you if you're finding that you're imbalanced, that you're spending more time on things that really don't matter to you, and spending less time on things that do matter to you. And also, another thing that's super important here is that when we balance our lives, we truly align with our higher self. We truly understand who we really are and why we're doing what we're doing, right? And everything seems to come together and we just feel more at ease. So, with that being said, I talk about it like being and doing are two completely different things. However, they go hand in hand, and it's absolutely 100% possible to live a life of just being in this being mode. I'm going to call it being mode, and also being in the world. So, taking action and doing things that make sense for you to move things along in your life. So, with that being said, though, it's really important that we first start off with an understanding of what being is compared to doing, right? What are these different modes that I'm speaking of? So, being mode means that you're not on autopilot. You're fully conscious of what's happening to you in the present moment. You're available, listening to others and not thinking other thoughts while you're being present in conversation. So you're also not turning on the TV or the radio or watching Netflix or whatever it may be for you, getting on social media. It's more of a letting go and just sensing the body, being with what is in the moment. So this is a very mindful way to be, for a lack of a better word, right? We're being mindfully aware of each moment step by step. So, and this doesn't mean too that you just stop having thoughts, right? You're going to have thoughts. That is normal. However, when we're practicing mindfulness in this way, you are noticing that you are not your thoughts, right? They are there and you're aware that they're there, but you also know they are not who you truly are, which is very important in being mode. So, this is a mode of being the watcher, being the observer from behind, almost like backstage, right? You're noticing, you're present, you're aware, and thoughts and emotions and everything else is happening center stage. It's okay, right? It's okay, it's happening, but we want to be aware of it. So, when we are in being mode, our nervous system is naturally at rest. We call this the parasympathetic nervous system. And so that's when your body's saying, I'm safe, all is well, right? So we absolutely, as you know, need more than that in, or more of that in our society. And so this is also when creativity can flow through us with ease and grace. And this is associated with the alpha level brainwave state, which does help us relax and let go more easily. It's incredibly healing. It's life sustaining to be in being mode, as I say it, and your health improves as well as a result. So let's talk about doing mode. So, doing mode is a very different state. You're probably very familiar with this. It's launching into action, it's being on autopilot, it's checking those things off your list just to have them off your list, but not really paying attention to what you're doing moment by moment. It's also noticing that, when you're in doing mode, you are almost like you're trapped in the mind, right? The mind is going and going and going, and you're believing every single thought that's coming in. And so there isn't a lot of empty space, right? It's more of like this noise that's happening in your mind consistently. And it's really hard to relax when you're in doing mode, right? You just want to keep going. And this is typically due to our sympathetic nervous system wanting to speed things up in order to get things done, in order to make sure that we're less stressed. But of course, the opposite is true. When you slow down, even when your body tells you to speed up, that's when you're able to fully let go. That's when you're finally able to relax. And then you can launch into action if you're ready. So, as you know, I'm sure most of society is focused more on doing mode and less on being mode. And so, one thing to note about this, I'm sure some of you are questioning, how on earth am I going to spend more time in being mode when my life is full of so many things to do, right? And we have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things we have to focus on. And so, with that being said, I want to talk about how to move into a combination of both. But first, I want to pinpoint a little bit more about how to begin understanding what's happening in your life before we dive into what does it look like to balance these in your life and how to bring more of it in your life. So, my first suggestion is to get very honest with yourself about how often you are in doing mode versus being mode. So if you're like most people, it's probably not 50-50, right? So maybe for you, it's something like, 75 or even 80%, 90% or up in doing mode, and then maybe a small percentage of being mode, right? When you just catch sight of something out the window, right? Maybe it's a sunset, or maybe you're taking a walk and something catches your eye, and then you're in being mode automatically. So it's things like that we want to expand upon because your brain and your body needs that rest much more than we think that we do. So it's important to have clarity around what you want to feel every day, right? Knowing what do I value, right? We've talked about that in some of our previous trainings. What's important to me? What do I want to spend my time on every single day? So if you want to bring more experiences in your day, especially experiences around relaxation and joy and true fulfillment, then it's important to start to say, okay, I have to make some lifestyle changes. So maybe for you, it's just small, subtle changes. That would be perfectly fine, right? So as you note yourself, let's say you're at 80% doing mode, 20% being mode. If you notice that's what's happening in your life, then just investigate a little bit. What are some things in your life that are causing you to launch into action? Because number one, you don't want to feel what you're feeling. Or number two, right, there's some satisfaction or a lot of satisfaction around checking things off a list or feeling a sense of achievement or success when you get things done, right? It can feel like you're making progress. So just notice if there's parts of you, I call these subpersonalities, such as a perfectionist, maybe, or a critic that's driving you harder to try to get things done. And I encourage you to start making more space in your day, more space of being time, right? So, being mode time, you might say. You might even put it in your calendar if that's the only way that your body, your brain, and these parts of you are going to go with the flow. So, just noting that, taking some time to really tap in and understand what is that like for me? And everyone needs to define this for themselves. So I can't tell you exactly how to do this because everybody needs a different approach. However, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to help with that. If you have a particular circumstance and you're wondering, how am I going to balance this? Please do let me know. But let me give you an example of what it is to pair being and doing together. So let's say you are going for a bike ride and all of a sudden you just feel what you feel. You feel the wind on your skin. You feel the change in your heartbeat as you speed up faster on your bike. And then as you slow down, you feel your heart starting to settle. You're aware of your surroundings and you're completely connected to them. So when you are in that experience, you are in being mode. That is being mode. And you're also active, which is very interesting, right? You can do both. And what you're noticing too is, when do thoughts try to come in? When do thoughts want to take me away and make me think about tomorrow or what I have to do? And just be gentle with yourself. That is so important because we are making some big changes here. And so you're not alone in any of the obstacles that are coming up. So let's share them in the group if they are, as you practice this over this next week, so we can support each other in making this a reality for you. So, one thing too is that these small and big lifestyle shifts, no matter what you decide to do, whether it's cutting out, a meeting that you have every week at the same time that is just extra busy work almost, right? So only you have to look at your schedule to know what is just busying, what is a busy frenzy that I'm getting myself into, and how can I cut back on that or delegate that to someone else so I can spend more time in being mode. And so this is going to take some time, of course, as like a life inventory to find out for you what that is, but it's worth it. And I can promise you it'll change everything. And just having little moments throughout the day of 5 minutes being mode in the morning, 5 minute being mode in the afternoon, right? Or 5 minutes in the evening. If that's where you want to start, that's enough for a lot of you, because when you're going from 80 to 90% doing mode, it's not going to make sense to say, well, I want to be at 50-50, right? We have to slowly make our way to that place. So, with that being said, I'm just going to encourage you over this next week to notice what it's like as you track your schedule, track your behaviors, track when you dive into maybe a stressful kind of task oriented behavior, and notice how that makes you feel. So you're just bringing mindfulness to your day, to your week. And then, if you could, I would love to have you share in our group what you're noticing, what obstacles are coming up as you're trying to sort through these different experiences of balance. And then, of course, I'm happy to help answer questions and help guide you through some things that might be coming up. But it is important first. Take that time, at least 30 minutes to an hour, sit down and ask yourself, am I living by my values? Am I doing what makes sense for me? Or is a lot of it just extra doing, right? Extra stuff that I'm just adding to my plate because I don't want to feel what I feel, because I'm afraid to feel what I feel, because I think that it's going to make me happy to do these things, but I've found in the past that it doesn't. Maybe it's also, again, related to feeling like, well, I feel great when I get things done, so I should keep doing that, right? These are old behavioral patterns, and they don't serve us when we are working towards true peace and true joy in our life. So I just want to thank you for being here. I know this is a journey, and we have one more week left next week about slow living and simple living. So please do watch the replays if you missed any of them over the previous weeks. And also, if you feel you're ready to heal at the deepest possible level and you want to find out how I might be able to help with that, please do let me know. You can let me know in the comments, such as I want to learn more, or how can you help, or specifically, I need help, right, with mindfulness, or with discovering my purpose, or with understanding more about the slow living life and how do I really implement it more into my day. So I'm happy to help jump on a free call with you for 15 minutes to help sort out some things and see if I can help and provide some free resources along the way. So please let me know and enjoy the rest of your week. We've got some fun, exciting things coming up in October as well. And I hope you enjoyed this. Please do share your experience in the comments, and I'll make sure to respond to each and every one of you. Thank you so much, and namaste to each and every one. Thank you. Take care.